Peace, love, and blessings, fam. Johnny Sally here with day 44 of Wisdom of the Ages by Wayne W. Dyer. If you've missed the previous recordings, you can catch them right here on TikTok or on YouTube at Loyalty Life, spelled L-Y-F-E Legacy LLC. Let's get into day number 44, a wonderful number for mystery. Points to ponder. I have observed the power of the watermelon seed. It has the power of drawing from the ground and through itself 200,000 times its weight. When you can tell me how it takes this material and out of its colors and outside surface beyond the imagination of art, and then forms inside of it a white rind, and within that again a red heart thickly inlaid with black seeds, each one of which in turn is capable of drawing through itself 200,000 times its weight. When you can explain to me the mystery of a watermelon, you can ask me to explain the mystery of the divine creator of all. William Jennings Bryan. American political leader and orator, William Jennings Bryan was one of the most popular lecturers on the Chautauqua circuit and is perhaps best known as a prosecutor in the celebrated Scopes trial. Whenever I read this observation made by William Jennings Bryan on the power of a watermelon seed, I never fail to lapse into a state of deep awe and appreciation for the endless miracles that are in everything and everyone I behold. Though he is not considered a poet, philosopher, or spiritual emissary, I included Bryan in this collection because of this one piece he wrote on the mysteriousness of life and what it says to each of us. William Jennings Bryan was known as the most electrifying orator of his time. He lost 3 bids for the presidency of the United States by rather narrow margins, and he served as Secretary of State under President Wilson. Yet, perhaps his most lasting impression was as the assistant prosecutor in the famed Scopes monkey trial in 1925, where he provided masterful oratory on a literal interpretation of the Bible and defended the doctrine of divine creation. But this essay is not about where you stand on Darwinism versus creationism. It is about the glorious mystery of life and what it teaches each of us about living at a higher level each day. The power that is in one watermelon seed is, of course, invisible, yet its presence still cannot be denied. It is an awesome power indeed, as illustrated by Bryan's observation that it is capable of drawing up through itself 200,000 times its weight and producing a perfect creation beyond the imitation of art. To our minds, such creativity is simply inexplicable. We know we cannot do such a thing ourselves. We sense the perfection that exists in every seed for producing life without making a single mistake. The watermelon seed never makes the mistake of involuntarily producing a pumpkin or an apple. This force that no one can see, touch, smell, hear, or taste is perfect. Let me call this invisible perfect force a future pool for want of a better name. This same purposeful future pool that is in the seed also is responsible for the beginning of every single human being who has ever lived anywhere at any time in the universe, including you. And I believe there has never been a mistake here as well. Everyone shows up exactly as that mysterious future pool dictates, on time, in order, looking just as it had been so ordained and destined to leave on schedule. Unlike the watermelon seed, however, you and I are subject to an enormous paradox. We are doomed by the future pull in the cellular structure of our beginning seed, just like the watermelon. And at the very same time, we are creatures who make choices and possess a free will. Thus, the mystery for us magnifies beyond that of the watermelon. We get to contemplate the paradox of being doomed to make choices. We humans are aware of the mysterious future pull and ponder to what extent we are drawn to a conclusion about which we have nothing to say. F. Scott Fitzgerald, a contemporary of William Jennings Bryan, described this paradox. The test of first-rate intelligence is the ability to hold two opposed ideas in mind at the same time and still retain the ability to function. One should, for example, be able to see that things are hopeless and yet be determined to make them better. It seems to me that the lesson in both Bryan's and Fitzgerald's comments is to simultaneously choose life while serenely knowing that the mysterious future pull is doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing as our bodies age and we transition. Thus, we are in charge and we are not in charge, both at the same time. And it is all right for these two opposites to coexist. With this mindset in place, you are liberated from worry about what is happening to your form and all the forms you see around you. It is in the hands of the same future pool that is in the watermelon seed, and you are free to witness these mystical happenings with love and acceptance and freedom from fear. It is a grand experience to do nothing more than just be in a state of metaphysical acceptance. It is a grand experience to do nothing more than just be in a state of metaphysical acceptance. One more time. It is a grand experience to do nothing more than just be in a state of metaphysical acceptance. In this state, you look at everything, including your own body, with joyous detachment. This is the subject matter of all the poets and philosophers in this volume who express this immortal human truth. There is life that we experience with our senses, and there is the invisible experiencer inside who is beyond our senses. They all advise us to become aware of the mysterious future pull and then make a choice about viewing it with appreciation or judging it and being perplexed. As you ponder William Jennings Bryan's words and the enigma of the watermelon seed, realize that the same future pull is also within you. You too are a part of the drama that creates forms millions of times greater than the originating seed. Your awareness is your apparent advantage over the watermelon. You, unlike the watermelon, know that your form will follow its prescribed path and then turn to dust. Unless you're doing certain spiritual practices that most people don't want to put that effort in. I digress. You have the greatest gift of all gifts. A conscious mind to contemplate all this and to be either joyful or jaded in your assessment of it. I suggest that you take on the demeanor of one who accepts your form and its future pull and chooses to identify with that which is the actual acceptor inside. Not the command center itself, but the commander inside, who is impervious to boundaries and beginnings as well as ends. Your gift is your power of awareness. You need not to explain the mystery of the divine creator, since even one tiny seed containing an invisible future pull stymies all of us. Far more sensible to be aware of this presence, to feel it within yourself, and to allow yourself the great joy of feeling connected to it all. Rather than being in a state of confusion over whether you do or don't have a voice over what is called your destiny, far better to surrender and be willing to hold two opposing ideas in your mind simultaneously at the same dang time. At the same dang time. You live in a body with boundaries and in a boundary-less inner world at the same dang time. Implement this kind of appreciation for the mystery of life with the following suggestions. Number one, whenever you feel yourself slipping into judgment or worry, use your mind to shift gears. An affirmation that says, "This very moment is a miracle, as is everything around me," will let you use your thoughts in appreciation rather than anxiety. 2. Remind yourself daily that everything is in order. The seed of a watermelon, the seed that began you, and the seed that began the universe all contain a future pool independent of your opinion about it. This is an intelligent system that you are a part of, and trusting in that intelligence is far more fulfilling than questioning it or even trying to figure it all out. 3. Try to be less rational and intellectual about your life and how you organize it. Let go of your mental inclination to compute and just allow yourself to be and to be pulled by that future pool that is the source of your life. And by the way, enjoy the luscious watermelon rather than attempting to understand it. Man, exactly what he's talking about allowing the future pool to pull you is what I would like to call following the guidance of intuitive instruction or thought. We all have a choice. That's the only difference between us and watermelons and other animals and fruits and things that still hold essence and energy. We have the choice. Sadly, many of us have been programmed to make choices that go exactly directly opposed and against everything that we say we want. I've watched people say they want a relationship and then not invest the energy in the relationship that they want and watch it all go to hell and not even acknowledge that it's their fault. I've watched people get jobs that they say they wanted so badly and then not want to get up and go to work but not be able to accept the fact that it's their fault. Everything that has brought you to being in this moment right now, much of it is your choice. There may be a large majority of it that wasn't your choice to begin with, but the moment that you became 7 years old, there's an adage that says, "Show me the child at 7 and I'll show you the man or the woman." So the moment you became 7 years old, you knew the difference between right and wrong. And if you know the difference between right and wrong, then you know which choices you should make. Now, a lot of the time, the heart gets in the way, the brain gets in the way. There are a lot of different reasons as to why you may make choices and decisions contrary to what you know you should. Now, in many cases, we know love is the great grand thing that is utilized to say why a person made a choice that they knew they shouldn't have. So, at what point are you going to accept to follow the mystery of your life and stop making the choices and decisions that you don't want to see the outcome of? Because when you do start moving in divine alignment and follow your intuitive paths and guidance that is given to you, the mysteries unfold so grandly beautifully that you become that watermelon that was that tiny little seed. And then you yourself are able to express 200,000 pounds your own weight, or more than your weight. You do that by your ability to create, your ability to express, your ability to change the world by changing yourself and changing every person that you interact with. So, let's start on that. I appreciate you all, always, at all times, for being here for yourself, more so than for me. I thank you for being here. I ask that you walk in love, walk in light, enjoy the watermelon, walk in peace, and know that you are loved.